Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahweh Bahasham Rakahakudash Barakatum. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who ruled and teach well. And peace and salutations to you sincere Akim out there, pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. This is the brother Ra'aya with another video. And I'm going to start it off in Matthew chapter 24, verses 3 to 6. And this is Yahushua telling his disciples in the past of the signs to look for to know that they were in the end times before his second coming. And as it says in Romans chapter 15, everything written aforetime was written for our learning. Yahushua Hamashiach, whom the world ignorantly refers to as so-called Jesus Christ, was really talking to his disciples today, since we're living in the last seconds of the last days, when these end-time signs that let us know that Yahushua is about to make his second coming are taking place right before our very eyes. But in verse 3, and as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, speaking of Yahushua, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? And Yahushua answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Hamashiach, and shall deceive many. Verse 6, And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. And in this video, I'll be dealing with the wars, and especially the rumors of wars, because as I'm sure a lot of you know by now, over the past day, Russia has been massing a lot of military assets and troops on the Ukrainian border, and the Ukrainian military has been responding in kind. And from my understanding, a lot of this has to do with a declaration the Ukraine just declared, which pretty much declares war on Russia. And while we do know that World War III will take place, as pursuant to Revelation chapter 9, verse 12, one woe or destruction is past, referring to World War I, and behold, there come two woes more hereafter, World War II, which is past, and World War III, which is yet to come. The main place of conflict isn't going to be in the Ukraine or the South China Sea, even though there may be battles and skirmishes there. The main place is going to be in the Middle East, in the Valley of Jehoshaphat, which is Yahweh's Shaphat in the Hebrew, which means Yahweh's judgment. And you can read about that in Joel chapter 3. And I'm not going to be dealing with the Valley of Jehoshaphat. What I'm going to be dealing with in this video is, as I said earlier, the wars and rumors of wars. This is an article from the economiccollapseblog.com titled, Ukrainian troops are being fired upon by grenade launchers and machine guns as more Russian forces race toward the border. Again, back in Matthew 24, verse 6, And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. And the end won't truly come until the mark of the beast, which is the microchip implant, is mandatorily implemented. Shortly thereafter, that's when that battle in the Valley of Jehoshaphat is going to kick off, and Yahushua is going to return to save his elect of the nation of Israel, 144,000, and the rest of the righteous 1/3. And the nation of Israel is, of course, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as well as the Israelite foreigners who look like the heathen nations. And not only is Yahushua making his second coming to save the elect, but also to put an end to the rulership of the heathen nations, chiefly of the Edomites, the so-called white people. So like we always tell you, Akim, hey, we're in the last seconds of the last days. We're going into the fourth quarter, really going into overtime, so to speak. So now more than ever, you should have all 10 toes down in this truth, pushing this word as hard as you possibly can to make your calling and election sure and be saved from all these calamities of Jacob's trouble, which are quickly coming upon us. But back to the article. Could this be the spark that causes World War III to erupt? At this hour, Russian and Ukrainian military forces continue to rush toward the conflict zone, and to say that things are tense in the region would be a tremendous understatement. As I discussed yesterday, when Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky signed Decree number 117-2021 on March 24th, It was essentially a declaration of war against Russia, rumors of wars. Since that time, Russian forces have been massing along the borders in numbers that we have never seen before. Video after video of Russian tanks, military vehicles, and troops being moved toward the conflict zone have been posted on social media, and the Ukrainians have responded by making similar moves. But if the Russians launch a full-blown invasion, the Ukrainians will be totally outmatched, and they will ask the United States and NATO to intervene. Since March 24th, there have been hundreds of ceasefire violations, but the ceasefire cannot be violated any longer because it officially expired on April 1st. That's funny, on April Fool's Day. On Thursday, there were multiple reports of Ukrainian forces taking direct fire. This was not reported by anyone in the corporate media in the United States, and so I had to go to a Ukrainian source to find out exactly what is going on. The following is an English translation of a report that was posted on the official website of the Ukrainian military. In the area of responsibility of the Operational and Tactical Group East, near the settlement of Sand and Water in the Azov Sea, the occupiers opened fire with grenade launchers of various systems, large caliber machine guns, and small arms. In the area of responsibility of the Operational and Tactical Group North, near the settlements of Slavidarsky and Luhansk and Zoltay 4, the invaders fired at our positions with automatic machine gun and handheld anti-tank grenade launchers, large caliber machine guns, and machine guns. From this point forward, there will probably be regular reports of both sides firing on one another, but will the conflict soon become much larger than that? I think that it is a really bad sign that the separatists in eastern Ukraine just announced that those born from 1994 to 2003 will start to be conscripted for military service. In addition, the EU is accusing Russia of initiating a conscription campaign in the Crimean Peninsula. Hey, this does look like a very serious situation that's heating up. You've got both sides starting to draft people. The European Union said Russia had launched a conscription campaign in the Crimea Peninsula in a move that broke international law. The EU said in a statement, "Today, the Russian Federation has launched yet another conscription campaign in the illegally annexed Autonomous Republic of Crimea and the city of Sevastopol to draft residents of the peninsula in the Russian Federation Armed Forces." These are very alarming developments because they indicate that the Russians and the separatists in eastern Ukraine believe that an extended military conflict is approaching. Of course, the Russians wouldn't actually need any new conscripts in order to defeat Ukraine. The Russian military is vastly superior to the Ukrainian military, and Ukrainian Commander-in-Chief Ruslan Kamchak believes that there are more than 32,000 Russian troops currently in Crimea, in addition to 28,000 separatist troops in eastern Ukraine. Kamchak had also said that Russia has around 32,700 military personnel in Crimea at present. Since annexing the territory in 2014, the Kremlin has significantly expanded its military presence there to include air, naval, and ground-based assets, including anti-ship cruise missile and surface-to-air missile batteries. Russia also oversees some 28,000 personnel in separatist units in areas of eastern Ukraine known collectively as the Donbass, who have been fighting the government in Kyiv since 2015. Though the Kremlin denies it, the evidence is clear that a substantial portion of these forces is simply regular Russian military units deployed on Ukrainian soil. There are also strong links between Russia's intelligence services and ostensible local forces. When asked why so many troops are being moved toward Ukraine, a Kremlin spokesman said that this should not bother anyone. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov offered a trio of seemingly contradictory dismissals regarding the sudden movement of Russian forces and equipment along its border with Ukraine and in Crimea, as well as a mortar attack last week by Russian-backed troops that killed 4 Ukrainian soldiers, for which Kiev blames Russia. The Russian Federation moves its armed forces within its territory at its own discretion. This should not bother anyone. It poses no threat to anyone, Peskov told reporters on Thursday morning, according to a translation of his remarks. He also said that Russia feels threatened by what it considers increased activity of the armed forces of NATO countries and others that oblige us to be on the alert. Ultimately, these troop movements almost certainly never would have happened if Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky had not signed Decree number 117/2021. And of course, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky never would have signed Decree number 117/2021 if he had not been given the green light to do so by the White House. In the end, this is a game of chess between the Biden administration and the Kremlin, and one false move could plunge us into World War III. That's pretty much it with this article. You get the point. Back in Matthew chapter 24, verse 6, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. In the end, this is a game of chess between the Biden administration and the Kremlin, and one false move could plunge us into World War III. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. And that's it with this video. And with this video, I hope you sincere Akim are edified. Just keep strong and keep pushing this word. We're almost out of this final wicked captivity of the heathen nations, chiefly the Edomites. And as always, I'm going to say Abad Babal, Kwam Yasharala, and until next time, Shalom.